I get asked often, what do dispatchers make and what is realistic in terms of a per month amount of profit an independent dispatcher can make. So I'm not talking about employee dispatchers who work for an established trucking company and are just there on an hourly basis or a salary based salary. I'm talking about you running a dispatch service or independent dispatch business. First off, the things you hear out there, for example, make $10,000 weekly, make $5,000 weekly. That's not correct. That is not okay for me for that information to be out there for people thinking that's the type of money they're going to make. Anybody selling you this type of information is not doing it the right way. Realistically, after market analysis and research that we've done, particularly when it comes to independent dispatch services, the ones that are doing drivers a favor and giving an actual service also that drivers do need, running their businesses, running their trucking companies, most of these companies or independent dispatch services are primarily doing things between $600 to $800 per week per truck. So if you do the math, let's say it's only one driver that you're actually dispatching. This one driver that you're dispatching, it would be $800, for example. That would come out to roughly $3,200 for that month of dispatching for that one truck. If you're dispatching um, trucks for $600, which is the lower end of that spectrum, you would be at $2,400. So you would be at $2,400 for your monthly look in terms of for dispatching trucks in respect to independent dispatch services. With that being said, of course you can scale the business quickly and make your five, ten, $15,000 a month, but consider that as a dispatcher, the more money you make, the more time you will invest in you know doing the actual job itself. So if you have five drivers, that's five drivers that you have to dispatch. It's five guys that you have to find loads for, do current updates for, in transit updates for, resolve issues for, resolve problems that may arise either during in transit or at pickup, at delivery. We have to be honest and realistic about what this job entails and what this job is about. Okay, so for those of the people out there that are actually giving out something like $10,000 a week saying or $15,000 a week per truck, that's not accurate. And I think they should definitely refrain from doing that because it's setting a bad example for our industry as a whole. It's a great business to be involved in, but it definitely has to be taken, uh, looked at from a research perspective, from a market analysis perspective, especially in this type of environment or in this type of market where we're seeing really low rates and low volume still. It's not where we want it to be. So when that happens, what's happening is, we're actually gonna be making, money based off of the driver's revenue, typically a percentage, right? And there's no way for you to be making $10,000 a driver in this current market that we're in. Also, consider that the range I gave you guys from $600 to $800, that's primarily specific equipment, dependent. So if you're doing just regular general freight and you're dispatching dry vans, you're going to be in that range. If you're doing flatbed, step decks, you're going to be in that range. Now, if you are actually dispatching specialized equipment like heavy haul or over dimensional, if that is the case, it's obviously going to change how much money you make. But even with heavy haul per driver, there's no way for you guys to make $10,000 a week per driver as an independent dispatcher. As a freight broker, that's different. But as an independent dispatcher, there's just no way for that to happen. This does not mean this business is not good. This is a great business model to go after, especially for people in the United States, or people that do freight to the U.S. from the U.S. To Canada, for example. but we have to be realistic of what this looks like and what this entails. If you guys like this video, give it a like, a share, a comment. If you guys want to debate about this as well or have a question for me, hit it down in the comments as well. And I'd really appreciate a follow and a subscribe on the channel, as we're trying to give as much value added information as we can about all the different pieces of the supply chain, whether it's the trucking side, freight brokering, or dispatching, or the shippers, of course, as well. All right. Thank you very much.